Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you today with the creature that is demon to some, angels to others. This is the NECA Hellraiser Ultimate Pinhead action figure. I bought this last year, and it's been on the back burner because I wanted to save it for Halloween, or at least the Halloween season, and I gotta say I'm finally excited to have it in front of the camera. If you guys want to pick this up at the time of this recording, it is available on Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, but as I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you like to get your comics and action figures, and check there first. I love the artwork on this cover. Love the way that the chains are tearing the puzzle blocks apart. Looks great. Pinhead looks absolutely amazing. Hellraiser, he'll tear your soul apart. On the front, Hellraiser, ages 17 and up. And I like that they used the text here, though again, I will say, like we did with, what was it? I think it was Bela Lugosi, where they had the product shots on the side. I like that instead of this, but at least if it's on a peg, you can see it from a distance. On the back, we got some beautiful product shots. Great work all around, and a good way to get inspiration if you're not sure where you want to start photographing this guy. Now, there is a read-up at the bottom, so I'll get a close-up so you can check that out at your convenience. On the bottom, again, I appreciate that NECA gives you the people that worked on the packaging, the artwork, the paint, and all that good stuff. Really appreciate that. I find that a very cool addition to give props to artists and give credit where credit is due. Open the inside, which this thing, of course... Is anybody else... Real quick. So I went to open this for you guys, and it took the whole peg. Have you guys been having any trouble with yours doing that? This has happened on this one and both of my Michael Myers figures. So let me know if that little Velcro has been a pain in the ass for you all. But we see the figure inside. Looks absolutely amazing. And then I love this piece. I need to go to Walmart and get some more of these chains that you see. I only have two. I've thought about cutting them up, but I don't want to shore them up too short. So something I need to look into. So yeah, if you guys want chains, Walmart, where they do the necklace stuff, that's a great place to get chains for stuff like that. So now we've gone over the box. Let's get the Ultimate Hellraiser out of the packaging and get a closer look at him. And here's Pinhead out of the packaging. As you can see, once you get him out, get the joints warmed up, and you start working on the posability of this character, he looks both absolutely amazing and absolutely terrifying. The paint apps on this thing is phenomenal. There are a couple of things here and there, like with all figures, that are going to drive you up the wall. But overall, if you are a Pinhead Hellraiser fan, then this one's going to be up your alley. What am I talking about? Let's get this guy down and let's look further into the Hell Priest. So Hellraiser is a 1987 British supernatural horror film written and directed by Clive Barker and produced by Christopher Figg. And it's based on Barker's 1986 novella, The Hellbound Heart. And the film was Barker's directorial debut. The plot centers around a mysterious puzzle box called the Lament Configuration, I believe is how you pronounce that, that summons the Cenobites. Again, one of those names I have a hard time pronouncing. They're a group of extra-dimensional sadomasochist beings who cannot differentiate between pain and pleasure. They take the people who open the puzzle box to their dimension to show them new sights. The leader of the Cenobites, the Hell Priest Pinhead, was betrayed by Doug Bradley. And NECA did a great job of getting his likeness. Just that serious grinning and the nails just looked so damn painful in the head. So we'll talk about this, this head sculpt first. I've not had enough coffee today, folks. But I love the blue around the eyes. All the metallic silver on the head. And you can kind of see where he's been sewed up and whatnot for his own pleasures. Yeah, just brutalness all around. So you get that normal kind of frowning head for an accessory. The other one is more of a, oh, there he goes, somber head sculpt. Equally gorgeous. You can see the blackness of the eyes there with the blue, the metallic silver of the pins, the skin tone, just that kind of corpse paleness looks great. The lip sculpt, all that, just that little hints of blue look great on both head sculpts. And then we get 2 of the Lament Configuration puzzle boxes. So we get the traditional square one, and I love the attention to detail that they put into both of these puzzle boxes. Just absolutely gorgeous. If you guys have any, leads on what the symbols mean, if there's any meaning, or if they're just the way that they were sculpted, let me know. But yeah, excellent piece on that one. And then we get the one where it opens up, and then those dimensional barriers are brought down. And then they're going to have such sights to show you. Just got to wait for the chains to come. Yeah. He comes with sets of hands, so he has kind of these more open resting hands that come as the default. And then what weirds me out is we get another set of resting hands. Now, don't get me wrong, the sculpting, the paint looks great, the skin tone looks great, the way the black glove just kind of fits right over that little pinky. And I think these resting hands are more to put the puzzle box in, so I think that's what those resting hands are for. And then we get 2 gripping hands, because what's Pinhead without all his painful ecstasy bringing accessories? So get those out of the way. We start with a very rough meat hook. And it comes with a little hole so you can put it on a chain, or if you want to hang it somewhere for a nice display or for photography. The silver looks great on the handle. Just that little hint of blood. It doesn't need to be any bloodier than that for Pinhead, because that subtlety and the madness, especially near the serrated edge here, just kind of makes you go, I do not want to know what they were doing with that thing. He also comes with a bone saw, and these things are super small. I appreciate that both on the knife and the bone saw, they give you these, so if you want to hook them to a chain, you can, which is a really cool idea. Again, the blacks and that red blood look absolutely phenomenal, but it just, again, makes your skin crawl wondering what Pinhead has in store in using these. We also come with more of a kind of surgical knife, all used in the movie. Little glimmers of blood. Again, one of those little pins, so if you want to hook it on a chain, you're going to be good to go. And those are all the accessories that Pinhead comes with, and of course they all just sort of make you go, whoa, I don't want to know what pleasures beyond this world are being seen in that sense. Now, as for the figure, the blacks look great. I love how it has that sheen. And then, of course, where he has his chest ripped, just makes you kind of go, yeah. Especially from his belly button where he has that incision. Good stuff, but oh my god, rough all around. I like the way his collar comes all the way up the back of his head. Looks great. And from what I understand, Doug said, I guess it was in an interview, talking about when he was Pinhead, he had a hard time walking because of the black contacts. He didn't want to trip over the skirt, so he said that was just a really tough time in terms of the filming, because he didn't want to fall and bust his butt, and that's not what Pinhead's about. I like that they made sure his skirt has bendy wires, so you can actually move this around at your convenience. And while we look at the legs, I want to kind of give him a Marilyn Monroe gait going on here. Black legs look good. Love all the little details on the leg. Has a little bit of a purple sheen to it. Just a nice little touch to add to the legs. Instead of just throwing this over and then giving them generic legs, I'm very thankful for that. Now, as for the articulation, for this figure, it's not too bad. I know I always say warm up your figures, but with NECA, always make sure that you are adamant about doing that. I've seen too many horror stories where people will go through and like get a NECA figure, take them out of the package, like the Ninja Turtle ones especially, move them, and they snap. And that's because all these new figures, the way they're painted, paint gets in the joint, dries. And that's why a lot of times they're so stiff and you get paranoid to want to move them. So yeah, either hair dryer, hot water, however you want to warm your figures up, but it's always good to warm up and then start slowly moving the figures, joints, until you get your whole range of motion. And the other thing that makes me cringe every time I look at this figure is the little incisions that go up into his chest from his belly button or whatever. That's rope, so be careful with it. It could break, but just the thought of what that could do. Yeah. Head can look down. That much, you get a pretty good range. Just be careful with the pins. They do hurt, and you don't want to bust them off. So, as you can see, I'm already getting indentions from moving that head around. So be careful. You don't want to bust those, and you don't want to give Pinhead any reason to be excited about you puncturing your finger. I wish they would have given him a butterfly joint. That would have been great. Would have had a nice range of motion, but you just get the normal peg there, which can move that much this way, about that much that way. Yay, NECA, for giving us double jointed elbow. Wrist, of course, goes down. Wrist goes up. Wrist goes spinny. He can crunch down that much back, and that's with the leg too. So not a whole lot of range of motion there. He doesn't go from the waist, he goes from the solar plex. So he's at least bendy in that regard. You get that nice range there. Let's do it from the back so you can see his legs better. What's up? He just going Muna. So after you warm him up, you can get him to do the splits about that much. Does have thigh swivel, thankfully. Very helpful there. Okay, now he's all sorts of bunched up here. Why are we not bending correctly? Can't get that leg to go back. There it goes. Have to play with it a little bit. Soft butt flap, so you can go 90 degrees back, 90 degrees forward, and in true NECA fashion, they'll give us double jointed elbows and single jointed knee joints. Because I mean, why the hell not? Sadistic. No boot cut, frustrating. Foot go down. I need to warm his feet up again. They're all tight like. Foot go up. And they do pivot there, and he also pivots from the knee, not from the boot. So for the articulation that we get with this figure, not bad. I just wish that NECA would get off that single jointed knee. I don't know why they're thinking that we need to continue with that, but whatever. At least other than that, you get some great range of motion for this terrifying looking figure. Now here's Pinhead next to the NECA Tim Curry Pennywise. And I gotta say, NECA really knocks it out of the park with their horror figures and their Ninja Turtle figures to a degree. We'll talk about it in another review. But if you're a horror fan like I am, and you put these guys on a shelf next to each other, or however you want to display them, they're going to look absolutely phenomenal. Especially being able to have this bendy wire balloon on Pennywise, which we will get into in another review. But having them up there and looking at them at night, these things are going to bring you such sights to see. Let us know what you guys plan on doing with all your NECA horror figures. Are you going to just display them? We'd love to also see your toy photography. Send us photos over on our social media pages. We'd really love to see them. This figure is excellent and is a great rendition of the Hell Priest Pinhead. Highly recommended if you're a horror fan or just of the Hellraiser franchise in general. I do hope that NECA does eventually release the rest of the Cenobites, or however you pronounce that. That'd be great to see some of those more grotesque ones from NECA. Now, if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, As I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you like to get your action figures and comics. Check that out first. If not, then it is available in the places we talked about at the beginning of the review. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little Hellraiser bell next to subscribe, that is making typical content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading. Photo slideshow coming up next, and happy hunting, true believers.